My fiancée always insisted that her male best friend was practically family to her. At a gathering one night, she plopped herself right onto his lap and announced loudly, "See? This is way more comfortable than sitting next to my own fiancé." The whole crowd chuckled nervously. I just gave a tight smile and said nothing. That same night, she discovered exactly where comfortable draws the line. Let me be perfectly clear from the beginning. Nobody plays me for a fool. I'm a structural engineer by profession. My entire existence, both personal and professional, revolves around identifying weak points, understanding load paths, and spotting the hairline fractures long before the building falls. I notice the signs of collapse while others are still admiring the facade. For the past 6 months, I had been watching those same microscopic cracks spiderweb through my relationship with my fiancée, Jessica, and I had already begun sketching the controlled demolition drawings in silence. Jessica is 28. The deepest, most dangerous fracture, the one that finally condemned the whole structure, was her best friend, Liam. When we first started dating 2 years ago, I bought the line she fed me. "He's like the brother I never had," she'd say with that innocent smile. That sentence should come with a hazard label stamped in red. I'm 34. I've lived enough life to recognize the translation. I'm keeping a backup plan warm. Still, I wanted to trust her, so for the first 18 months I did. Then we got engaged, and everything accelerated. The brotherly affection went into overdrive. It was the 2 a.m. text she angled away from me. It was him escorting her to her company gala because I was buried under a deadline. It was him having final say on our wedding venue while my opinion got a polite nod. It was the casual way his arm lived permanently along the back of her chair at every group dinner. Fingertips grazing her bare shoulder like he was marking territory he knew I couldn't challenge without looking insane. So I didn't challenge it out loud. I studied it. I recorded it. The engineer in me switched on like a motion sensor floodlight. Over those 6 months, I quietly decoupled every shared system that tied my life to hers. I never let emotion drive. I let risk assessment drive. The apartment lease came up for renewal. I kept it solely in my name. I opened a new high-yield account and began rerouting 80% of my income there, leaving just enough in the joint account to keep the facade intact. I wasn't paranoid. I was performing pre-demolition prep work. I knew the failure was inevitable. I only needed one last, irrefutable stress reading before I hit the plunger. Last Saturday night, Jessica delivered it gift-wrapped. We were at a mutual friend's housewarming. Big turnout, perfect audience. I was mid-conversation with a few guys when I saw Liam sink into a wide patio armchair. 30 seconds later, Jessica strolled over, glanced around for another seat, saw none, turned, and lowered herself straight onto his lap like it was her reserved spot. He immediately circled his arms around her waist, hands settling possessively on her hips. The entire patio went quiet. Eyes flicked to me. Our host Mark looked like he'd witnessed a car crash. Jessica caught my stare, flashed a defiant grin, and called across the fire pit loud enough for everyone. I swear, the neighbors to hear. "See, Daniel? Way more comfortable than sitting with my actual fiancé." A couple of nervous laughs sputtered out. Liam wore the smuggest little smirk I've ever seen. And in that moment, something inside me didn't break. It simply clicked off. Data point acquired. Load capacity exceeded. Initiate sequence. I raised my glass toward them with the calm of a man ordering coffee. "Whatever keeps you comfortable, babe," I said, voice flat, pleasant, empty. Then I turned back to my conversation like the show was already over. Inside, the countdown had started. For the rest of the night, I floated through the party on autopilot, smiled, nodded, refilled my drink, but every neuron was running checklists. On the car ride home, she was high on the drama, chattering about how funny everyone thought it was, how epic the party had been. She had zero idea she was riding next to a man who had already erased her from his tomorrow. We got home around 1:15 a.m. She yawned theatrically, said, "Don't stay up too late working, love you," and disappeared into the bedroom. "I won't," I answered. I waited until I heard the bedroom door latch. Then I walked to my office and began the actual work of ending us. Update 1. Between 1:30 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. Sunday, I was more productive than I'd been in years. No anger, no tears, just a cold, satisfying sequence of tasks. First, physical access. I logged into the building portal and revoked her electronic fob permanently. Then I changed the smart lock code. The fortress was now mine alone. Next, money. I moved every penny I had ever deposited into the joint account, roughly 97% of the total, into my new account, leaving her contributions untouched to the cent. After that, I paid off the credit card she used daily, then removed her as an authorized user and reported that specific card stolen. Her plastic lifeline severed. Finally, possessions. I refused to give her any legal angle later, so I played it surgical. I crept into the bedroom where she slept peacefully, gathered her MacBook, work phone, everyday handbag, wallet, keys, AirPods inside, favorite charger, and the small jewelry roll that held every piece I'd ever given her. I zipped everything into her overnight duffel and set it neatly by the front door like an airport porter. Everything else, clothes, shoes, decorative junk, could wait. This was immediate extraction only. At 5:45 a.m., I sent one text to Mark, the party host. Hey man, sorry for the awkwardness last night. Just a heads up, Jessica and I are finished. I ended it. If wild stories start flying, remember 50 people watched her choose someone else in real time. Appreciate you. Then I switched my phone to airplane mode and went for a 5-mile run as the sun rose. When I returned, the place was still silent. I brewed coffee and waited. Around 10:15, she shuffled out in my old college t-shirt, hair a mess, squinting. Morning, my phone's dead. Can you grab my charger? I think it's in my purse by the bed. Can't, I said, sipping coffee. Your purse, charger, laptop, wallet, everything you need right now is in the weekender bag by the door. She blinked twice. What? That's your exit bag, Jess? You don't live here anymore. She actually laughed. An incredulous, you've lost it laugh. Okay, I get it. You're pissed about last night. I told you it was a joke. You're overreacting. No, I said, standing. I'm reacting with perfect calibration. You parked yourself on another man's lap in front of our entire social circle and announced you prefer him to me. That wasn't a joke. That was a public declaration. I'm simply honoring it. Her face cycled through confusion, realization, panic. You're breaking up with me? Right now. The relationship died last night on that patio. This morning is just paperwork and logistics. Your building fob is dead. Door code is changed. Credit card is canceled. Money is separated. Essentials are packed. You have until noon. After that, anyone still inside is trespassing. I recommend you phone the person you're most comfortable with. Cue the waterworks, the I'm sorry, the I love you, that it didn't mean anything. Textbook. I stood there like a block of concrete. Liam showed up 50 minutes later, chest puffed, ready to white knight. Jessica had apparently buzzed him in before the fob died. He stormed in shouting, "You're a real piece of shit, you know that?" I didn't even glance at him. I looked at my watch, then at Jessica. 11:08. 52 minutes left before I call the police for trespassing. Then to Liam. Hallway cameras have audio, by the way. Choose your next words carefully. His face went slack. He muttered something, grabbed her bag, and they left. As the door closed, Jessica turned back, mascara rivers running. What about the rest of my stuff? Email me. We'll schedule one supervised hour with an off-duty officer present. Goodbye. Click. Lock engaged. Silence, at last. Update 2. The next 72 hours were a masterclass in attempted character assassination. I was ready. First came the flying monkeys. Her mother leaving tearful voicemails that escalated from concern to threats. Saved, ignored. Then the social media battalion. Vague posts about controlling men who can't handle platonic friendship. Stories with sad songs. The works. Liam posted a photo of him hugging Jessica with the caption, "Real family never leaves. Always got my sister's back, Red Heart." Cute. They assumed they owned the narrative. They assumed wrong. I never argued publicly. I simply deployed the one piece of evidence that made their entire campaign irrelevant. Months earlier, Jessica had bricked her phone and begged me to restore it from my server backup. I still had the full image. I spent an evening combing through it. The texts alone were damning. Inside jokes calling me the wallet, the blueprint, the temporary scaffolding. But the real gem was a 38-second selfie video from a childhood friend's trip she'd told me was just the old gang. In the clip, she's in a hotel robe, Liam shirtless on the bed behind her. She smirks at the camera. The blueprint is almost finished with the wedding spreadsheets. So predictable, it's almost sweet. He thinks he's building our forever home, she pans to Liam. when really he's just the architect and you're moving in. They both crack up, she blows a kiss, and clip. I trimmed it to the lethal 28 seconds, uploaded it anonymously, and sent 2 emails. Email number 1, to Jessica's corporate HR inbox, easy to find on the company site. Subject, concerns regarding the professional judgment of project manager Jessica, last name. Body, the attached video, recorded by Ms. last name, herself, may raise questions about her integrity when managing sensitive client relationships. I leave it to your discretion. Email number 2, to Liam's actual fiancée, Emily. LinkedIn plus a little digging made it simple. Subject, I'm truly sorry to be the one to send this. Body, Emily, you deserve to make decisions with full information. This was recorded a few months ago. I hit send and went to sleep like a baby. Final update. For months later, the rubble has cooled and the new landscape is beautiful. Jessica's company quietly launched an ethics review. Managing multi-million-dollar client contracts while openly bragging about defrauding your fiancé is not a good look. She kept her job, barely, but was banished to a windowless internal role with 0 client contact and 0 future. Career plateaued permanently. Liam's fallout was biblical. Emily didn't just end the engagement. She forwarded the video to her father, whose family office controlled an 8-figure account at Liam's firm. Daddy pulled every dime the next morning. Liam went from golden boy to persona non grata overnight, shipped off to a branch office in the middle of nowhere, corporate Siberia. Jessica's friend group evaporated the moment the money and status did. She tried to lawyer up and claim financial dependency after 2 years of cohabitation. My attorney replied with one line. We possess video evidence of your client admitting to a years-long fraud scheme. Happy to play it for the judge. Claim withdrawn instantly. I sold the apartment, too many ghosts, and bought 10 quiet acres outside the city. Right now I'm drafting the plans for a house that is 100% mine, designed from the bedrock up, no compromised materials, no hidden rot. The sweetest part isn't their downfall. It's knowing I trusted the numbers when everyone else trusted feelings. I saw the stress cracks, I ran the calculations, and I walked away before the roof caved in. They thought I was just the boring, dependable blueprint they could use and toss aside. They were half right. I am a blueprint guy, and the final set of drawings I produced, with their own words as the rebar, turned out to be the perfect schematic for their total, irreversible collapse.